Jake here on the evening show on BBC Essex, and waiting very patiently for me. It's been our second uploader of the night that's been on the programme before. Anything's Possible, based in Romford, sent in tracks like Euphoria, Angels and Flutes, which were very experimental and instrumental, took us to a lot of different places. This time he's sent in a song with a bit of a darker feel to it called Atmosphere, and Anything's Possible, also known as Philip as well, is joining us on the show right now. Thanks so much for hopping on the show tonight. How are you doing, Phil?
Hello, Jake. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for giving up some of your Thursday night to chat to us about this. Of course, you've been on before with a couple of tracks. This is another track of yours called Atmosphere, which we'll come on to in a second. Just first of all, why the name, Where Anything's Possible? I feel like it's very apt today with the A-level results. Does it come from a place of aspiration?
It was just a name that I just sort of really
It was there.
liked. You hear it all the time. Anything's possible, and it's like, well, no one's actually used that as a band name. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna have that for myself and just use my sort of branding just to sort of promote positivity. So
Yeah.
I like it. Everyone seems to like it. Everyone I speak to.
Oh, amazing! I'm here for it.
It's brilliant.
And look, of course, on BBC Essex, we play a lot of songs and music from big pop stars and superstars in the world. But of course, sometimes there is a place in life for music like yours that you're making, experimental, maybe more instrumental, particularly with people as have gone through revision and exams in the last few months, etc., like that. When has experimental and instrumental music, of course, away from creating it, helped you in your life?
I've very much found that I just like really relaxing music at times.
Yeah.
There's just that place when you just need to put something, no sort of vocals on, or just I've been creating a lot of playlists as well to promote my music. So I do all these sort of playlists on Spotify to promote my music, and a lot of them are like yoga, meditation based. So I really like just sitting there listening to like peaceful piano music, acoustic music, and there are just times when you don't need vocals in music just to sort of set the tone of what you're trying to achieve. Just like studying music, everyone's probably been studying, so Ambient Darkness, if you just want to listen to that in the background when you're studying, it's perfect really. You don't really want all this sort of drum and bass music at times when it's just like you want that bit of quietness. That's what this sort of album was about really. It was just a real, I'd experimented with Angels and Flutes, and then I just decided, well, I'm going to take that a bit further and actually create a whole album full of sort of dark ambience. And so far, it's going very well.
Your album, Ambient Darkness, Ambient Darkness, slip of the tongue, as you were just talking about there. How might this compare to your other material that you've done before, and how long have you been working on this project for?
The project itself has taken around 4 to 6 months. Okay. I had experimented with Angels and Flutes, which is a very sort of like atmospheric and sort of uplifting music, and I thought I would like use like a lower tone and make a bit more darkness. So this is more sort of, as I say, the name is in like clues in the name.
Of course.
It's like very sort of dark and it's so I like experiment with these things, and I want to sort of do Ambient Darkness 2. That's currently in progress as well. I want to improve on my synth skills as well. I've got my synth next to me, obviously my bass as well, which I play. So that was the first album. And I like experimenting with these things, and just being creative. It's just amazing when you just sit there playing around with
see where
things.
It goes.
Yeah, and it all comes together, and it just sounds really nice, It's just
you
great.
hinted to a synth and a bass guitar around you. Is this like a nice little home studio setup you've got going on?
Eventually, I want to have a little home studio. That's the dream, Just have a few different synths and
neon
guitars.
lights. My name in stars up on my wall.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the dream, Just
all
have
of that.
your own studio.
It will happen. I believe in it. And look, tell me particularly about Atmosphere. I know you've been saying it's a bit darker and that kind of thing. You like experimenting, but when you are making your music and sort of going and delving down these different avenues in your mind, where did this kind of come from when you were sort of starting this particular track and project?
Well, I've often been inspired by people like Brian Eno over the years,
Hmm.
who does that sort of experimental music, and he's done some wonderful music over the years. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to give that a try. So I sort of purchased some like drone software, and I just sort of just started experimenting with it all. And I thought, do you know what, I think this is the good way of just producing music.
Yeah.
And so far it's going down really well with people. People are liking it.
Mm.
It's there's various different tones in that album. Some of it is quite space orientated, whereas Atmosphere is actually one of the more uplifting tracks. It does get a lot more darker towards the end of the album.
Brace yourself.
Definitely. But yes, it's got some of it is very sort of space orientated. So I've got space playlists as well, which I put it on, and I just love all that sort of space music, and it's how it's all produced, It's just people playing around with synths, drone instruments, and it's brilliant, really.
And I guess I feel like it's a bit of an underappreciated world that people, of course, don't delve into as much as they should, because of obviously what exists around us in maybe say modern music, perhaps.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for it, in films and stuff. So it's always going to be there. You probably just don't notice it if you're sort of listening to like
stuck on the conveyor
Spotify
belt.
chart. There's obviously, it's not sort of music that is really going to like get people's attention, like some sort of
get you ready for the club or
something. Whereas this is just like the complete opposite. This is just like sitting in the garden, just chilling out, but there's a time and a place for these sort of music,
course. And all art has that purpose and that place. Look, it's been great to chat to you, Philip. Thanks so much for coming on. Before we jump into the track, where can people find out and find more out about you and find more of your music that you've been working on?
So Spotify, the usual music streaming services, you can find it. Anything's Possible.
Mm-hmm.
The album is Ambient Darkness. It's very sort of dark silhouette of a sun. So you can find that. If you then can go onto things like Facebook, where you'll just find my page, that'll take you to a link tree where you'll find all the links to certain things. So it should be pretty easy to find. I think anything's possible, So it's quite an easy name to remember, It's just you hear it all the time on people talking about it. So
and on that note, I'm going to hit play. Thank you so much, Philip.
Okay,
we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it.
No, you're not currently being abducted. That is Anything's Possible with their upload, their experimental offering their atmosphere here on BBC Essex on Upload. That does it for another night here on BBC Upload. We'll have more of your creations back next Thursday.
The sound. The sound. The sound of Essex.